Over the past year, I've helped over 1,000 students land their dream offer in AI engineering. And in this video, I'm going to break down the exact system they used to land high-paying offers. This video is broken into two parts. In part 1, we're going to compare all the different strategies for getting offers. In part 2, I'll break down the 3-step method my students are using to get FANG offer after FANG offer. This is probably the most valuable video I've ever made. I'm going to reveal everything. But there is one catch. I may delete this video at some point, so make sure to watch the full video today. Without further ado, let's get started. Look, we are entering a new era. Everything is changing. The way we get internships, new grad offers, and even how we learn. We're entering what experts are calling the invisible hiring era. And there are a bunch of ordinary students all over the world using the invisible hiring funnel to get offers at these companies, all without any previous work experience. More on that in just a minute. And I know that might sound like a bit of a scam, so I'd like to be 100% transparent with you. Just because I got offers like these and I got these results doesn't mean you will. I can't guarantee that. I like to make this clear at the beginning of any training because my reputation and success are built on how transparent I am. I always want to keep it real with you. I'm looking out for you as if you're my family. But what I can guarantee you is that what you're about to see are the results of regular, ordinary students all over the world using the invisible hiring funnel. Like Shekhar. He's from New York originally, and he wanted to be an AI engineer. He wanted personal support navigating the recruiting part of becoming an AI engineer, and with our help, he was able to land an offer from AMD, again, all thanks to the invisible hiring funnel. We also have Chang. He was actually extremely overwhelmed with LLMs. The advancements were moving faster and faster every week, but with the invisible hiring funnel, he was able to land an offer from Amazon, and he's now making over $250,000 a year. So if you've ever felt behind in AI, don't worry, you're not late, you're in good hands. And of course, Amit, he was actually a bit overwhelmed by all the resources that are out there for AI. They're all scattered, they're all over the place, but when he came to us and after he implemented the invisible hiring funnel, he landed an offer from Pattern, another company on the West Coast. So in case we haven't met yet, my name is Dev. When I was in college, I actually landed an internship at Amazon that paid over $80 an hour when I was just a student. And when I graduated, I actually landed offers paying over $240,000 a year. I've also taught AI to thousands of students across the world, and I've collaborated with people like 3Blue1Brown, Necode, and even Boris Minardis, a top AI researcher. So if you're looking for an unfair advantage to get ahead, you're in the right place. In fact, I'm going to show you how you can land your dream offer all without grinding hundreds of LeetCode questions, standing in long lines at career fairs, standing in an uncomfortable, sweaty suit, awkwardly begging friends and family for referrals, which never feels good, and worst of all, graduating with nothing. No internships and no job offers. I really don't want that for you. So if that sounds interesting to you, then this short video is just for you because we are going to break down every detail of the invisible hiring funnel. I'm going to pull back the curtain. And just as an incentive, if you stay until the end, I'm going to send you a free gift for step 2 of the invisible hiring funnel, which is actually the step people struggle with the most. And over 10,000 students, I honestly cannot believe that, have actually used that free gift to get ahead with step 2. And I get countless emails every day from students writing back to me saying how valuable that free gift was, so you don't want to miss it. What is an optimal strategy for getting internships and job offers? We need to carefully think about this because over 90% of people fail, so you don't just want to copy them. Again, more and more people are graduating with nothing, no internships and no job offers. I'm looking out for you like you're my family. I just don't want that to happen to you. So why don't we properly take some time to evaluate the different strategies in an objective, logical way? Here are our 4 evaluation metrics. First, we have time investment. Is this going to take 30 minutes every day or 2 to 4 hours a day? The effort to reward ratio. How much are we going to get out for every hour that we put in? The standout factor. In such a competitive market, the uniqueness of our strategy is really, really important. And burnout risk, is this strategy even sustainable, or do people just give up and burn out? So let's get started. I've made a table for us. We're going to systematically evaluate all of these strategies. Let's start off with grinding LeetCode. Again, LeetCode is important, but it really cannot be your main strategy and it shouldn't be your main focus. And one of the reasons for that is that time investment is just so high. And I started here because you do have to spend some time on LeetCode, but you should not be grinding hundreds and hundreds of questions. The time investment is just so high that it cannot be our optimal strategy. Next, we have the effort to reward ratio. Again, LeetCode does have some benefits, but the effort is just so high. It's just so painful working through easies and then moving on to mediums and then even getting to hards. It's just so time consuming and painful that the effort to reward ratio is pretty poor. In fact, I'm sure you know some people who are absolutely brilliant, right? They're good at LeetCode, but they still aren't getting the offers they want. So LeetCode is not the golden key. It's not the optimal solution. Next, the standout factor. This is probably one of the worst aspects of LeetCode. Everyone is starting to grind LeetCode these days, so it's really hard to stand out. And the burnout risk is honestly really high. A lot of people get burnt out after just a few weeks of grinding LeetCode. I don't want you to burn out, so grinding LeetCode should not be your main focus. Oh boy, now we have career fairs. I'm gonna go through this one a little bit faster just to save us some time. The time investment here is so high. The lines are atrocious. You might wait for hours just to have the chance to speak to a recruiter for 30 seconds. I just don't think it's worth it, and the effort to reward ratio is about a medium. And the reason it's not poor is because there could be some benefits to going to a career fair, right? There could be some rewards. If you end up getting to the right recruiter and they end up even letting you skip the interview process, or rather go straight to the interview, that could be a leg up, right? But the effort and the time investment is just so high that the effort to reward ratio is not that great. It's pretty mid. Next, we have the standout factor. This is probably the worst, right? I mean, there are hundreds of people at career fairs. How are you supposed to stand out in those giant crowds? And then we have the burnout risk. This really depends on the student. For me, the burnout risk was pretty high because I just hated wearing a sweaty, uncomfortable suit, standing in line with hundreds of people. I just didn't like that. Some people are okay doing that, more power to them, but I just hated it, and it really depends on the person. Next, we have referral hunting or referral farming. Again, we'll go through this one pretty fast. The time investment is pretty high because you have to reach out to so many people individually, and they're not all going to give you a referral, right? Only maybe 20% of them or 30% of them might say, hey, I'm down to give you a referral. So the time investment here is just so high. That's why I put the effort to reward ratio as medium, because if it does pay off and you do go straight to the interview, then this is pretty good, right? I mean, that gives you a pretty good leg up, but the effort is just so high that the effort to reward ratio is medium. We want to have a really strong effort to reward ratio, and that's what the invisible hiring funnel is going to give us. The standout factor is actually pretty high, right? Because if you're a recruiter and you have a ton of applications coming in, you're probably going to prioritize the person who has a referral, right? Because they're already endorsed by someone working at the company. So the standout factor is high. I will admit that is the one benefit of referral hunting. And the burnout risk really depends. At least for me, I hated referral hunting. I hated having to reach out to all these people, kind of try to set up a coffee chat with them and just try to beg them for a referral. I just really didn't like it. Some people don't mind doing that, so that's why I put that it depends. But for me, the burnout risk was honestly pretty high. Oh boy, now the infamous cold applying. Just going to a company's website and filling out those applications mindlessly, hundreds, maybe even thousands of them. The time investment here is extremely high. I mean, there's just so many better things you could be doing with your time. The effort to reward ratio is horrible. It's pretty self-explanatory. Anyone can cold apply, so the standout factor is extremely low. I mean, companies probably aren't even reading those applications, so how are you supposed to stand out? And the burnout risk, I'm going to say it's pretty high because it's so demoralizing filling out hundreds and hundreds of applications. I mean, I feel like not enough people talk about that. It, at least for me, was starting to lead to burnout. And then we have GPA grinding, obsessing over your homework assignments, your quizzes, your exams. Is that really a good way to try and get those sweet, sweet job offers? I don't think so, because the time investment can be really high, right? Some of those classes are crazy hard, and to do well in them actually requires a lot of time, right? And the effort to reward ratio is just so bad because you put in all that work to actually get a good grade, but that doesn't guarantee that you're going to get an internship or a job offer. So the effort to reward ratio honestly sucks. The standout factor is pretty low because everyone's trying to get good grades, right? I mean, some people just don't care. We all know those people, but most people are trying to get good grades. So the standout factor isn't that good. And the burnout risk really depends, right? Because if your classes are interesting and you like your classes, then the burnout risk isn't that bad, right? But if your classes are really boring, you're dealing with a horrible professor, then the burnout risk is going to be pretty high. So GPA grinding is just not the best strategy. And I'm not trying to bash on learning. I think learning is really important. Learning is how we get ahead. Learning is how we grow. But obsessing over your GPA is just not going to get you those sweet, sweet job offers. So I hope now you can see why this stuff is so hard, because the common strategies that everyone recommends honestly just don't cut it anymore. Your time is limited as a student and you've got to spend it on the right strategy. So why don't we go through this table and see what a true optimal strategy looks like? We are going to want something with a very low time investment, right? Of course, the time investment is never going to be zero. You may have heard before that there's no shortcuts in life, but we still want something with a minimal time investment because you're busy with classes. You probably want to actually enjoy life as well, right? It's not just about your career. So we want something with a low time investment. We want a very strong effort to reward ratio. We want to get as many rewards as possible while putting in as low effort as possible, right? That is the definition of leverage. We also want a high standout factor. Everyone's applying to these internships and full-time positions. We really need to stand out somehow. And we want something with a low burnout risk, right? This stuff should be fun. We want something that's sustainable that we can do day after day, week after week without burning out. So with all these criteria set, I can confidently say there is one solution that fits the bill, and that is the invisible hiring funnel. And I'm about to go over it in extreme detail with you. Again, there are students everywhere, regular average students all over the world using the invisible hiring funnel, and they are using it to get offers on autopilot. I mean, this stuff is becoming easier than ever when you implement this strategy. Again, it still will require some effort, right? You're not going to get these offers without putting in any effort at all, but this is probably the easiest strategy. And again, we have Shekhar, who ended up landing an offer from AMD. He was originally from New York. Now he's working in the San Francisco Bay Area at AMD, and he's living his best life. We also have Chang. I mean, he's making an absurd amount of money as an AI engineer at Amazon now, and it was all thanks to the invisible hiring funnel. And we have Amit. He works at Pattern now. This is another company on the West Coast. They're actually the world's leading e-commerce accelerator. You can actually look them up if you're interested in e-commerce. I mean, the invisible hiring funnel just works. And we have many, many more students who have implemented the invisible hiring funnel. Okay, so that we can make sense of the invisible hiring funnel, I have to tell you a quick story. So I was actually on the traditional path, right? I was following all the normie advice. I was grinding classes, trying to get good grades, do well on my exams. But honestly, I was stressed out of my mind, right? There were so many homework assignments. I was frustrated. I was having to sacrifice some of the fun stuff that I actually looked forward to in life. I was filling out hundreds of applications, trying to tailor and customize my resume. I was getting no results. Honestly, I was getting pretty mad. But then I had an observation, right? I made an observation. There were some successful students who weren't caring about their GPA, right? I was like, why are you guys not caring about school? This stuff seems pretty important. And they didn't even seem as technically strong as me, yet they were getting offers. And this made me really frustrated, but I'm honestly so glad I noticed this because I came to the realization that in today's day and age, GPA doesn't matter. I mean, most companies won't even ask for your transcript anymore. So that's when I realized there had to be a new strategy, and that's when I discovered the invisible hiring funnel. You see, those students, they had these impressive side projects, right? They were doing something totally different. They had these online portfolios, ones that looked like this. They were really impressive and they actually caught recruiters' attention, way more than just listing some classes on your resume. And again, they weren't just basic projects like the ones you've probably heard of, chatbots, house price predictors, digit detectors. Forget those. Whether you've heard of them or not, just forget about them. Because what I noticed is that the most successful students, the ones who were getting those offers on autopilot, right, they were focusing on just two highly specific projects, and I'm going to reveal them to you today in extreme detail. I'm not going to hold anything back. So that's when it hit me. The highest paying offers are never even posted, right? The top students, they don't even have to apply. These offers are coming to them. They're getting the offers before they even make it to the mass public market, right? The highest paying offers, the best offers, they are never even posted. They're completely invisible. I was so focused on following the rules, but the top candidates weren't even worrying about their GPA or going to career fairs. they were doing something completely different and recruiters were reaching out to them with invisible offers. And in the rest of this video, I'm going to break down the invisible hiring funnel. I'm going to go into the 3 steps in extreme detail. Okay, on to step 1. Let me introduce you to a concept called the portfolio pyramid. At the top of the pyramid, we have the portfolio holders. The opportunities are coming to them and they've got all the power. In the middle, we have people who are starting to build projects, right? They're starting to demonstrate their real world skills. At the bottom, we have people who have some academic credentials and they have like a foundation, but is really not enough. And that's why they're at the bottom of the pyramid. So consider 2 candidates. Candidate A has a good GPA and they've listed some coursework on their resume. Candidate B actually has a lower GPA, right? They've actually done a bit worse in school, but they have a full-blown portfolio of those 2 highly specific projects that I mentioned earlier. Who's the better candidate? It's obviously candidate B, right? It's a no-brainer. They have proof that they can actually do the work. If you were a hiring manager, you would probably pick candidate B as well. But how do you actually build projects? And which projects do you build? And don't you need a ton of math for AI and machine learning, right? We're going to break down all of that in the next few minutes. So that is step 1 of the invisible hiring funnel. Focus on the required math only. Matrix multiplication, which is essential for neural networks, and basic derivatives from calculus, which are fundamental for gradient descent. Gradient descent is the algorithm for actually training AI models. I've been talked to 3 Blue 1 Brown, one of the greatest math educators of all time, and he agreed with me. He said that it's better to just learn on the fly and you can pick up the math as you go. You don't need to go and take a whole semester-long multivariable calculus course before you jump into AI and machine learning. And one of the reasons why it's so important to just review the bare minimum math and then move on is because your competition is going to get ahead on step 2 and step 3 of the invisible hiring funnel, which we're going to get into now. But you might be thinking, that sounds great, but maybe I'm not smart enough. Or maybe it's too late, right? The AI wave already hit a long time ago. And maybe you even feel ashamed because everyone else seems so far ahead. But here's the truth. It's not your fault. Don't blame yourself, right? You cannot put this blame on yourself. You don't need to be a math whiz to succeed in AI and machine learning. Even if you've never built any projects before, the invisible hiring funnel can still work for you. When we get to step 2 and step 3, you're gonna see why. And even if you felt ashamed, I promise you have nothing to be ashamed of. You are not behind, and this is just not your fault. Trust me, you're in good hands here. That brings us to step 2 of the invisible hiring funnel. And this is probably the most important step, so listen closely. Here it is, implementing a research paper from scratch. If you've heard this advice before, stick with me. We're gonna break it down in a super easy to understand, manageable way. So first, let me give some background information. All of the innovation in the last few years with LLMs has actually come from researchers at companies like Google, Meta, OpenAI, NVIDIA. And these researchers typically publish a paper, right? A written paper online explaining their work and what they found, right? What they invented. And then they'll also have a GitHub repo. If you're not familiar with GitHub, it's a website where you can store and share code, but they will also publish a GitHub repo with the code for their project. But what if you decided to read the paper, understand the concepts, and then try to implement it yourself in code without looking at the GitHub repo, right? That would be re-implementing the research paper from scratch. And this is one of the best projects that you can do. I promise it will teach you more than 5 surface level projects, and it will certainly help you stand out more than any other project. But don't take my word for it. Boris Minardis, a top AI researcher, 100% agrees with me. He's actually said that implementing a research paper from scratch is the best project for anyone looking to truly get ahead and deepen their understanding. Top industry leaders like Andrew Ng over here have also come forward and said this. They've said that implementing a research paper from scratch is the best thing for anyone looking to truly get ahead and build a really, really deep understanding. Okay, so how do you actually implement a research paper? Well, first you're going to need to review the fundamentals. fundamentals. You need to master linear regression, gradient descent, neural networks before you even read the research paper. And don't worry if you feel overwhelmed by that. I'm going to give you a plan for reviewing those later in the video. Then you need to read a research paper. One research paper that I recommend is Attention is All You Need. This is a 2017 paper from Google that actually came up with the transformer architecture, the model behind ChatGPT, Claude, and all the other LLMs that we use day to day. Then comes the code implementation. This is the fun part. You're going to build from scratch. You're going to get coding. You're going to have fun. And I promise this is not as hard as it sounds. Before I forget, what about the free gift that I mentioned at the start of this presentation? Right here it is, the top 50 AI ML projects. This is trusted by students from Google, Meta, Apple, Amazon, and even Netflix. And I'm going to give it to you completely for free today. All you have to do is head to the link in the description and you're going to get it for free. Okay, step 3 of the invisible hiring funnel. Everything's finally going to come together. There is one more very specific project that you need to build, and your portfolio will not be complete until you build it. It is fine-tuning open source LLMs. It's very specific and you've got to build this project. Let me explain what it is. This is when you take a pre-trained LLM like Llama from Meta or GPT-2, one of the older GPT models. It's a pre-trained LLM, meaning most of the training has already been done by the company that made the model, but we want to customize it, right? We want to niche it down to a very specific use case. This could be coding, this could be SQL queries, this could be education, healthcare, productivity, construction, anything you can think of. This is the essence of fine-tuning an LLM. We want to hyper optimize it for a very specific use case, and the possibilities are actually endless here. And Chang, who actually landed an offer from Amazon after completing all 3 steps of the invisible hiring funnel, had this project in his portfolio, so it just makes sense to have it in yours as well. Okay, here's how to fine-tune an open source LLM. First, you need to pick a model. I really recommend the Llama model from Meta. It's free, it's super easy to work with. Then you need to select a dataset. The good news is you don't have to web scrape and create your own dataset. Hugging Face, which I mentioned earlier, actually offers a ton of free datasets. I mean, education, healthcare, productivity, you can just grab a dataset from the website and download it. It's as easy as that. And then you have to actually train the model, right? We have to teach the model the nuances and specifics of this very specific dataset. And to do this without requiring some crazy GPU, because we don't want to have to depend on that, we're going to use something called quantization and LoRa. And don't worry if those sound a bit complex, they're super easy to understand. And the final step is probably the most fun part: and test and deploy and showcase your custom LLM. And again, with a plug and play system, we're going to make this so much easier for you. We're going to hold your hand and walk you through every step of the process. I mean, just listen to our students. We have some screenshots here of emails they've sent me. I get so many of these every day, and it's really an amazing feeling. First one on the left, we see, "Hey Dev, I have had the program for a couple of weeks now, and I really enjoyed it. This was exactly what I felt I needed to get back on the grind. The modules, videos, explanations, and the other resources are all fantastic. Thanks again for this creation. Hey Dev, I'm well over the 48-hour limit, and that's just something about me. I always give strict deadlines, and I don't like to make exceptions for them. That's just something that you should be aware of, but I'm well over the 48-hour limit. I just wanted to say I appreciate your countless hours in breaking down difficult concepts into something to work with. As a non-ML background stats guy, it's good to have both theory and application, which your program delivers. I've been enjoying it so far, and I appreciate the countless hours of hard work you've put into these videos. Looking forward to progressing with the program." I truly love these messages, and I honestly cannot wait for this student and honestly all the other students to email me probably in around 90 days, probably in a few months, and tell me that they're interviewing at some top tier, prestigious, well-respected companies. I'm really looking forward to that, and I think that's going to be you as well. And we have Boris Minardis, a good friend of mine. I actually asked him to kind of review the curriculum inside our plug and play system, and he went ahead and said that Dev has put a lot of time into creating a curriculum of truly relevant ML content. On top of that, he's also a great guy that can explain complex topics really well. So coming from Boris, that felt pretty good. So imagine having a mentor, right? Getting the exact blueprints, protocols, templates, checklists. I mean, just think about the opportunity cost of not using this system, because every day that goes by and you're trying to piece it together from all these resources online, I mean, other people are applying to positions. Other people are probably building their portfolio faster than you. They're on their way to getting offers. Just think about the opportunity cost of not taking the shortcut. I mean, every day that you don't have an $80 per hour internship or a $240,000 a year job, just think about how much money you're losing. And that is the invisible hiring funnel. This is the optimal strategy, not grinding lead code, not begging people for referrals, not standing in a sweaty suit for hours at career fairs. The invisible hiring funnel is the way to go. The best offers are never even posted, right? They're taken before they even make it to the company website because recruiters are reaching out to people who have top tier portfolios. And again, this is all without grinding hundreds of leak code questions, long career fair lines, spamming cold apply. That is the worst. Begging for referrals and stressing over your GPA. So you have two paths forward here. Option one is the long, hard road. It's pretty lonely. You could figure out everything yourself. So probably take countless hours of research, trial and error, slow progress, sacrifice personal time, and honestly, the fun parts of life. Or you could take our plug and play shortcut, right? That's really the other option. These are the only two options here. You can follow a proven system where there are countless success stories, right? You could get step-by-step guidance, fast results, and actually balance life and your career, actually enjoy life. I think the option is pretty clear. Again, I am looking out for you here. I really don't want you to take the long, hard, lonely road. I don't want you to sacrifice life. I mean, after implementing the invisible hiring funnel myself, I've had so much more spare time on my hands. I've been able to travel with my girlfriend all over the world. It's just been really gratifying. I want you to experience this as well. And when I give you the invisible hiring funnel, it's going to make everything so much easier. I want to give you everything I've learned, right? This is just a preview of our plug and play system, just a preview, all the blueprints, templates, checklists, protocols that you will get to speed everything up, right? This program is going to be more than just tutorials. It's a full shortcut to having a plug and play portfolio. I mean, we could not make this any easier for you. I don't think I've ever even seen anything like this in the market before. And here's the best part of our plug and play system, right? You know, I could go into all the details of what this program offers, and I will soon if you're interested. But you know what the best part is that we have 100% satisfaction guarantee, right? This is literally not a joke. It's 100% satisfaction guarantee. If you don't build a killer portfolio with our plug and play system, we literally refund every single penny. So when you win, we win. We've aligned the incentives here perfectly. And more on this 100% satisfaction guarantee soon. Trust me, you're gonna wanna hear the details. But now, why don't we go through everything that our plug and play system has to offer? The first thing that you're gonna get is for step one of the invisible hiring funnel, right? The no BS guide to mathematical foundations. No more than what you need, just enough to get started building projects. You're also going to get the bootstrapping blueprint. This helps with step two of the invisible hiring funnel. It's going to teach you how to implement transformers and research papers from scratch. And of course, our copy and paste fine-tuning LLMs framework. This is going to literally make it so much easier to go through quantization and LoRa and actually fine-tune an LLM on an industry-specific use case. Again, education, productivity, healthcare, whatever you can imagine. And again, just look at what our students are saying. Hey, Dev, I had the program for a couple of weeks now. This is exactly what I needed to get back on the grind. And again, we have our student on the right. I cannot wait until he gets that offer. I've been enjoying it so far, and I'm looking forward to progressing with the program. And of course, we have Boris Minardis. Some of you may be familiar with him. Dev put a lot of time into creating a curriculum of truly relevant content, just what you actually need to succeed. And I want to make it clear, the best part, other than our 100% satisfaction guarantee, of course, where we'll literally refund you if you don't build a killer portfolio, more on that soon. The best part is that all you have to do with our plug and play system is follow along. Literally, we're going to give you every line of code. We'll explain each line of code so you know what it's doing. And then you put that project in your portfolio and it's done and you can show it off to recruiters, right? Maybe you want to change a little bit, maybe change the data set so you haven't totally copied it. But other than that, you literally just have to follow along and you have a full-blown project in your portfolio. It's almost as easy as copy and paste. I've never seen anything like this. I just want to make the process as easy for you as possible. Okay, here's when things start to get interesting because what we've went over so far is really cool, but that's not all. I want you to have an unfair advantage. I want you to get every single possible edge you can. And that's why we are going to give 10 more bonuses, 10 away completely for free. I honestly cannot believe we're doing this. The 10 bonuses that I'm about to go over, we usually charge extra for, right? You usually have to pay more to get them. They're usually an add-on, but we're just going to give them to you completely for free. all as part of the plug and play system. Let's get started. First thing you're going to get is the Power Paper Playbook. You could buy this separately for $27, but with the plug and play system, you get it for free. It's a list of 50 curated papers which will inspire you to build projects, right? Sound like an expert in everyday conversations and your interviews, right? No one wants to sound like clueless, right? And it's just going to save you hours of research because you could scour through some lists online or just grab this playbook completely for free, usually $27, but completely for free. Next, we have bonus number 2, Portfolio Precision. This is actually sold separately for around 197 bucks, but you're going to get it completely for free as part of the plug and play system. This is all about resume optimization, right? You kind of make it irresistible, not just average, irresistible, right? This is going to be a buzzword guide for the right terminology to include on your resume so you can actually stand out, right? Make it past those resume scanners and actually catch the eye of recruiters. It's also going to give you the formatting hacks to stand out visually. Ultimately, it's going to give you the portfolio precision, usually $197, but completely for free when you join today. Bonus number 3 is PyTorch Protocol. PyTorch is the #1 library for AI and machine learning, right? Forget TensorFlow, right? And this is usually sold separately for $397, but you're going to get it completely for free with our plug and play system. Again, you could buy it separately, but why not just get it completely for free? You're going to have a deep understanding beyond just using the library and just calling random functions. We're going to go over the core capabilities and ultimately the end result. I want you to build models with confidence, right? Models from scratch. And that is what the PyTorch protocol gives you. I'm just so excited talking about the PyTorch protocol because so many of our students have especially loved this one. Bonus number 4, Elite Engineer Essentials. This is where things are going to get even more interesting. You could buy this for $397 separately or just get it for free. It's going to go over the fundamental concepts, right? The core AI principles. These are commonly covered in technical interviews, and I really like to think of it as a learning accelerator, right? Because when you master these fundamentals that we're going to go over in Elite Engineer Essentials, linear regression, gradient descent, feed-forward neural networks, this is going to make learning the more advanced concepts 10 times easier. So it's really an investment, right? Learn the Elite Engineer Essentials and the other concepts. It's like a learning accelerator that become 10 times easier to understand. Okay, bonus number 5. This one I actually can't believe we're giving away for free. It's usually sold separately for $600. It's the Cutting Edge Capsule. This is 15 key papers completely explained and summarized, right? I'll be honest, reading research papers can be a pain, right? They're really confusing, but we've broken them down into plain English with simple, easy to understand videos, and it really makes these complex concepts so much more digestible. It's a huge time saver, hours of reading just condensed into simple videos. And Chang, who ended up landing an offer from Amazon, and he actually credits the Cutting Edge Capsule as one of the main reasons that he was able to advance his career. Okay, we've gone through 5 bonuses so far that you're going to get completely for free. You're not going to pay a single penny for them, but there's still 5 more because I said there were 10 bonuses, right? Let's go through them fast. I'm really excited for these. 6-Figure Secrets. This is really your ultimate interview guide. I can't even put a price on this because if it helps you land a $240,000 job offer and pass an interview, I can't even put a price on this guide, but you're going to get it completely for free. It gives you the interview mindset, the psychological edge that you need when you step into an interview, the winning strategies, but also the red flags, right? What are the common mistakes that you want to avoid in an interview? That's what this is going to give you. Bonus number 7, Salary Seduction. I know, a bit of a corny name, but listen to me. The initial offer that you get is just the starting point. There are negotiation tactics, specific phrases and approaches that people are using to get an increased offer of 10K to 50K. Imagine the company offers you 150K, but just with a few emails, maybe a phone call with a recruiter, you're able to get that bumped up to 170K, 190K. That's why I can't even put a price on Salary Seduction because it's really priceless, right? I mean, this could be invaluable as you get that job offer and get that salary for years to come. Bonus number 8, Midnight Money Machine. Tech jobs pay a ton, but a lot of people want to have a second source of income. So if you've ever wanted to start an AI side hustle, build a client base, and scale to 100K a year and beyond, ultimately creating financial freedom, this guide is for you. It's going to teach you how to get started with an AI side hustle. Bonus number 9, Okay, now we're back to the complex equations, right? Transformers, self-attention, layer normalization. You can see some of the equations on the right over here. I want to give you the simplified math, only what truly matters, more of a practical focus, applied rather than theoretical. So this guide is going to go into all those equations and many more and just explain them in a really easy to understand way. And I can't even put a price on this, like 397 or 597, because this is honestly just worth your sanity, right? Just your sanity of kind of trying to decipher all those equations is going to make it so much easier. Can't even put a price on it. You're going to get it completely for free. Bonus number 10, our final bonus. You're going to get it completely for free, and it's the debugging dictionary. This one's pretty interesting. There are some common bugs, some typical AI model issues that you'll run into. But this is just going to give you quick fixes for almost every single bug. Solutions at your fingertips so you're not Googling errors or asking ChatGPT to debug your code. This is going to be a huge time saver, less debugging, more building. Again, worth your sanity. I can't even put a price on this because it's just going to save you countless hours. And one of our students in Yaki, he's actually studying AI at Monterey right now. He especially loved the debugging dictionary, so I just wanted to highlight him here. Shout out to Inyaki. Okay, the total value breakdown. Here's where things start to get really interesting because you get no BS mathematics for AI. That's $197 value. Bootstrapping Blueprint, $1497 value. Again, you're going to get that completely for free as part of our plug and play system. Copy and paste framework also sold separately for $1497. Power Paper Playbook, $27. Portfolio Precision, $197. PyTorch Protocol, $397. Elite Engineer Essentials, $397. Cutting Edge Capsule, I actually can't believe we're giving away that one for free, but it's $597 plus 5 more bonuses worth over $5,000. Six-figure secrets, salary seduction, midnight money machine, formula foundations, debugging dictionary. Okay, you might be thinking there is tens of thousands of dollars of value in this program. There's literally a guarantee, right? Most people don't offer this, a guarantee that if you don't like the program, you can get a refund. I mean, you might be thinking that this program is going to cost a lot of money just because of how valuable it is. And if it could help you land a $240,000 job offer, I mean, what is the price of this program going to be? Because in 2 years of having that job, you make what, like 480,000? Now, obviously, I can't charge you that much. I don't want to charge you that much, right? But the total value here, when you add everything up, is almost $4,997. And I have a marketing team of a couple of advisors who have said that I need to charge thousands of dollars, even almost $5,000 or $10,000 for this program. But to be honest, I just don't want to do that. I'm not going to charge you that much. I'm really just not going to. But for a limited time, you will be able to get the whole plug and play system, all the templates, checklists, blueprints, project bonuses, everything, all of it for a much lower price. This is just a preview of what you're going to get. There are so many more bonuses and modules, but this is just a preview. I'm not going to charge you $20,000. I'm not going to charge you $10,000. I'm not even going to charge you $5,000, which is approximately the value when you add everything up. Just $997, just $997. But this is only for a limited time. I think over the course of a year, this is like $3 a day or something like that. Like, I think most people are spending more on coffee a day. So again, this is a very limited time offer. The total value is almost $5,000. Today's price is just going to be $997, just $997. This comes out to like an 80% discount. We won't be able to offer this for a long time. But I have to be honest with you here. My marketing team does want me to charge a lot more for this, so the price is going to increase soon. We're also adding more and more value to the program. We make incremental updates every month. So as we add more value to the program, the price just has to go up. I've got a big team that we're growing on. I've got to pay my team. The price is going to have to go up. But again, if you land an $80 per hour internship, that's like $3,200 a week, right? $3,200 a week for 40 hours of work. If you land a $240,000 a year salary, that's $4,500 a week. The return on investment is insane here. And again, this is just a preview of what you're going to get today. All the portfolio precision templates, PyTorch protocol, cutting edge capsule. I mean, I can't believe we're putting all this together in such a discounted package. So here is my offer to you. You will get lifetime access, meaning all future updates will be free if you join today. So you have two choices here, right? You could come back to this, maybe join in a couple of months, but then the price is probably going to be a lot more expensive. But if you join today, you lock in the current price. all future updates come for free. So the sooner you join, the more you're getting for free. I think the choice is pretty obvious. In a few days, this offer might not even be available anymore. The price may have increased. I really recommend taking action today. And I know you might be feeling a bit nervous, but I don't want you to feel nervous about this. I want you to feel confident about this. That's why I offer a 30-day money-back guarantee, no questions asked. This makes it completely risk-free. If you are not satisfied, you can get a full refund, literally every penny back. You have 30 days, so there's ample time to evaluate. There's no pressure that, oh, you only have 1 day or 2 days, or maybe some people just give like 72 hours. No, I want to give you a full month. Take your time. There's no pressure. The one thing we do ask for is honesty. We ask that you be honest and not take advantage of this, but I know you wouldn't do that. And just in case you're wondering how the refund process works, if you ever want to ask for one, you just have to email admin@gptlearninghub.ai, make the subject line refunding or something like that, and we'll get back to you within 24 hours. It's a pretty straightforward process. And again, this is just a preview of all the protocols and capsules that you are going to get as part of our plug and play system. But this is a very limited time offer, right? My marketing team is already mad at me. They want me to charge more for this, but I don't want to charge $5,000 for this program. $997 makes sense to me, but it will increase soon as we continue to add more and more value. So if you're ready to join, just go ahead and click the link in the description, but I just want to answer some common questions first. Can't I figure this out on my own? Yes, you could, but it does take longer and costs more opportunities. I mean, every day you wait, people are applying, people are building their portfolio. It makes sense to take action sooner rather than later because literally every day you wait, another offer is gone. Someone's getting an offer somewhere out there in the world. Some people say, I just don't have time right now. Again, totally get that. When I was a student, I was swamped with so many things. But just 30 minutes daily of our plug and play system is really enough to make progress. The one catch is that you have to be consistent, right? Day after day. But 30 minutes daily is enough. And I know you have 30 minutes a day, my friend. Some people say, I don't know Python yet. Again, Python is the main language for AI and machine learning, but you don't have to be an expert Python programmer to go through our program because you'll actually learn Python as you go through the program. As you build the projects, there's so many clear code examples. We believe in learning by doing. You're going to be completely fine. The one thing I would say is make sure you have some programming experience. Doesn't matter what language, be familiar with variables, for loops. You do need to be familiar with that. And again, some people say, I don't have strong math skills, but don't worry. Step 1 of the invisible hiring funnel is all you need. The No BS mathematics module covers exactly what you need. So again, this is a limited time offer. The price will be increasing soon, and I want you to lock in the lowest rate now. I'm very serious about that. I don't make exceptions. There is growing value here, right? We are regularly adding new content and you could get lifetime access for free. Don't miss out. There is a huge opportunity cost of waiting. Just 40 hours a week of a big tech internship will give you over $3,000. I mean, a $240,000 a year job offer. It changed my life, my family lives forever. I want you to experience that as well. And again, your classmates are applying right now and you've got to stand out in some way. We went through all the strategies. The market is so competitive right now, but with our plug and play system, you can join Chang, you can join Shekhar, you can join Amit, you can join Inyak, you can join all of our successful students. Again, I want you to gain the unfair advantage that you need to get ahead in today's market. I want you to make your family proud. I want you to celebrate that offer with them. I mean, just imagine yourself 90 days from now. Today, when you make the decision to invest in yourself, there'll be about 30 days when you have the complete core projects. Within 60 days, you'll have a polished portfolio and you'll be ready to confidently start interviewing. In 90 days, you can receive a life-changing offer, celebrate with your family, your friends, and be on that path to financial freedom. And again, we are backing it all up with our 30-day money-back guarantee. If you don't like the program, just let us know. The last thing we want is an unsatisfied customer. We have this offer letter on the right. This is probably one of the biggest offers that changed my life and my family's life, and I know you can achieve it too. So take action now. Head to the link in the description. Don't wait because every day is costing you opportunities. This is a risk-free decision because we're backing it up with our 30-day money-back guarantee, and you can start your journey and join hundreds of successful students. And again, this offer will not last forever, so I highly recommend taking action today. Just a bit more logistical details on the website. When you click the join button, you'll be taken to a very secure order form. All of your information is secured, and you'll be able to actually review everything before you complete your investment. And again, we are backing it up with our 30-day money back guarantee. I honestly cannot believe we're doing this. Most people don't offer this because they're worried that people are going to take advantage of it and they're just going to go through the course and request a refund, which obviously wouldn't be fair. But I know that you're going to be honest, so that's why we offer this 30-day money back guarantee. So don't let another day go by. Take control of your future. Join over 1,000 students that are building their portfolio and on their way to getting offers. And every day you wait, someone else is getting an offer. 2 offers are taken, 3 offers are taken every day you wait. So click the link below and get started today.